Hey everyone. So on this episode of Matt Talk, I don't know. At this point, I don't know what to call it. But yeah, we're going to talk about the importance of traveling and competing. Okay. Depends on where you live, right? Like sometimes you'll have tournaments come to you. But more likely, tournaments, the big tournaments are like spread out throughout the world. And if you really want to reach the highest level of competition, at some point, you're going to have to travel and compete. People tend to just not do it year round, and they'll just like do it only for that event. And I think that's a mistake. I think, what will happen is that if you're not used to the stress of traveling and competing at the same time, it's going to really catch you off guard, and I think it could ruin your competition. So yeah, that's what this chat's going to be about. I know Kyle travels quite a bit. Kris has been traveling quite a bit with us, and yeah. So what do you think, Kyle? I know you travel quite a bit. Maybe you can give them like an estimate how many times you traveled this year, or you're going to be traveling this year.
So, I mean, so far we're in end of June. I think I've gone on 15 or more traveling tournaments. I go almost every other weekend unless we've got something near town. And the main reason that I like to do that is because when you have a major tournament like national championships or ADCC trials or whatever that is almost never going to be in your hometown, it gets you very used to the stress of traveling, how to pack for the airport, how to save money when you're out there because you're going to be spending a ton of money when you're there. So going to smaller tournaments we're obviously in Colorado, so flying to Dallas is fairly inexpensive. It gives you a lot of practice, lets you be really used to understanding it gets you really used to competing after sleeping in the unfamiliar bed and all that. So
cool. What about you, Kris? Like, I know you've been, I don't know how many competitions you traveled with us now, but I mean, I'm sure in college you've traveled a lot for competitions, and throughout your athletic wrestling career, you've traveled a lot. So what do you think the importance of traveling for competition?
I mean, it's always going to be to get like the best look you can with different people, because if you stay in your bubble and you get the best in your bubble, then you don't want to venture out because I'm good here. When you go out, you get different looks, you get different styles. I mean, when we went out to high rollers, that was a whole different experience, and that's the biggest thing, experience. It gives you a look at like a whole different setup. For wrestling, it's like, oh, there's a whole different gym, there's a whole different style for different people coming in. But in wrestling, everybody's kind of sticking to like the same setup, same kind of moves, sort of, but different ways about mixing it up. In jiu-jitsu, it's like, oh, this guy might be a wrestler. Oh, this guy might pull guard. Oh, this guy could do anything to like stop my game from progressing. I do like traveling, like going out of state to a lot of different tournaments. I'm glad we have tournaments here, but it is very limited on the competition here in Colorado. But I feel going down to Dallas, going out to Cali, can't wait to go out to the East Coast for ADC more trials. IBJJF in Dallas is going to be a great time. Like it's just good to get out of your comfort zone and into new zones, so you can always you always want to just be like water. You want to change your shape and be able to be like good anywhere you go.
Definitely. Do you guys think, like, recommendation, how many times a year maybe you should travel for a competition? And it doesn't have to be like a huge competition either. I would say maybe have, like, if you want to do Nogi Worlds at the end of the year, and then you would maybe travel to, whatever state just to do a random, like, grappling industries or whatever, right? Like, how many times would you guys recommend traveling per year? Okay, we'll start with Kyle.
Me personally, I'd say you want to travel at least 4 times a year for a tournament, and try to space it out like every quarter. That way you're not getting worn out if you hate traveling or flying or anything like that. Any more than that, it starts getting pretty expensive. Less than that, you don't really get some of the perks that you're looking forward to with the traveling tournaments. And even if it's just like a small IBJJF local tournament or ADCC, those are a little bit bigger. Or even if it's just grappling industries or something like that, I think it's great to get out there, experience the new looks, and be used to competing after that lack of sleep, sleeping in a foreign bed, not having your normal nutrition, all that. So,
Oh yeah. I like that. I think like once a quarter is a good idea for sure. And maybe having like, 2 of those like big ones, like having them like be a big tournament. But yeah, I like that. What do you think, Chris?
I'd say like if you're trying to go hard and like you're not really feeling burnt out, try to go at the height of like competition season. I would say almost like 2 times the most per month, like right when it's like big, but like as many local tournaments as you can get, kind of just maximize that amount of time because you'll be training throughout the off season, and like as soon as like that season hits, you're ready to go for that whole thing. Like take your breaks when you need it, just so you can always like after a tournament take like a little time to yourself, but always try to maximize the amount of times you can get out there and get new looks.
Definitely. I know, like for us, we live in Springs, Colorado Springs, and most of the tournaments are in Denver. We don't really have a problem driving to Denver. Occasionally, they'll do a tournament out here in Colorado Springs, and people from Denver do not like to come to us for whatever reason. Just just realize that like we want it more, and it kind of shows, right? Like we'll take those extra we'll waste that extra money. We'll waste that extra time, extra energy, because that's how bad we want it. And we want to get those looks. We want to get that experience. We want to keep striving for perfection. And it's important to keep challenging yourself for sure. I really think if you don't get out of your comfort zone, if you just say, I want to, like you say, stay in your bubble and not try to like see those new looks and feel those new looks and really try to like absorb the new styles, because like you'll notice right, like every like state has a different style almost, and you want to go out there and really like test the waters everywhere. Do you guys, here's a good question. Do you guys like traveling alone and like doing your own thing, right? When it comes to like your own accommodations, all that kind of stuff, or do you like traveling as a team and sharing accommodations like Airbnb, that kind of stuff, right? What would you prefer?
So for me, I'm probably kind of a unique situation because I'm very used to doing both situations. For a lot of sumo tournaments or just different tournaments of different wrestling styles, I don't have a problem going alone, competing, and you can do stuff to make it dirt cheap for yourself and save a lot of money. If you want to be somewhere at a certain time, it's up to you. So that's a huge perk. However, traveling with your team, especially with your coach, that's a huge advantage. A lot of times your coach will handle a lot of the stressful things about getting to the venue, getting to the Airbnb or the hotel, whatever you're doing. I know for our team, we'll split an Airbnb like 5 or 6 people. So I think that just having the amount of people definitely helps save some money there. Also, just having that camaraderie and teamwork out there. There's nothing like when your teammate wins that first match and it almost starts like a freight train of everyone's just hyping each other up. Everyone's standing by your sideline cheering for you. And I think that team mentality is so important in competition. So I see both perks, but I kind of prefer traveling with the team.
Nice. Yeah. What about you, Chris?
Team all the way. Yeah.
Go team.
Go team all the way. There's no I in team. Hear that, Kyle? But it's like,
you just got to spell it weird.
Listen, that's with digital type. I don't want to hear it. But no, like when you go with a team, you just have that, like, again, like Kyle said, that camaraderie. Like it makes the even when you're not competing, you get to share experience. Now, you don't just get to be there and be like, I'm here, cool.
Yeah.
And I bet it's like you can have a great time like in those situations by yourself, but like with a team, you get to like it's like you bring your buddies on a trip, and you get to just have a good time. Like when you're not going to the competition, you're hanging out, going to see stuff. Like in Dallas, when we all walked to Kroger, like that was dumb, but that was like fun as like hell. They're just sorry, curse.
But like also,
I think you're allowed to now. It's okay.
It's been like 30 seconds.
Also in Dallas, when we not even just go into the Kroger, like the simple like grocery run first thing in the morning before coach wakes up or anything like that, but even like after weigh-ins going down to Deep Ellum, like exploring a part of the city that's very historical and getting to be there with your friends and there's no shame. We're just kind of going around exploring and seeing something new that you don't get to see in your normal life. We have nothing like that area here in the Springs. You kind of have something similar, very small areas in downtown Denver, but it's great being there because it's just a whole new experience that you get to enjoy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's also safer to do it as a team. I think, I remember like last tournament we traveled to Dallas, and then one of our guys got hurt. Imagine if he was alone. He had to deal with all that, being hurt alone and still have to, get to his car, get to his hotel, wherever, get to the airplane, all that stuff he had to do alone. So it's good to have people there to help you if something does go wrong. And there's been a lot of times stuff has gone wrong. People got hurt. I remember the rental car, like all of a sudden we got like, okay, we have to go to weigh in soon, but then I get a nail. It was like a big bolt in the rental car flat tire, and I had to go replace that real quick. And like we had like all these type of things kind of happen sometimes during the trips, and you have to. I feel like the more people are there to kind of help the scenario, the better. If you're alone and something like that happens to you, that could be the end of your trip. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we go, we have fun, we share costs, and I do kind of stick to the like tight schedule a little bit. I'll be like, all right, guys, we're doing this at this time, be ready, that kind of stuff. But that's also good, right? To have like someone like, hey, wake up.
You're still a coach at the end of the day. Like, you still have to like make sure we're like, hey, we're here for a thing.
Yeah.
We're not just in Dallas or Cali, or Utah, just messing around.
For sure. I'm like, you got to make weight. We got to show up at the tournament. We got to make sure we compete. And then after that, you guys can have your fun.
We're going.
You guys can stay up all night watching crazy YouTube shit. And like, you guys can do whatever you want. But we got to make weight. We got to compete. And then after that, we can have fun. And then we do. We go out to like nice restaurants. Like we try to find the best restaurant in town, and we try to, eat the best food in the area. Like I think it's really, really fun to travel as a team. And I do highly recommend it. It's also nice to, I think, do your own thing every now and then. Every now and then, just like take a trip by yourself to kind of like soul search a little bit. I think it's a good idea too.
But like what you were saying earlier about the injuries, like I've gotten injured on these solo trips, and you're sitting there, broken heel or something like that, wandering around, and it's like my flight back isn't for another 2 days, but I can't walk. It just makes it absolute misery sometimes. Where there's things you can do if you've got teammates they'll help you get around. And what Tips was saying here about being a little bit of a tightwad on schedule, I think that's good because when you're traveling to these tournaments alone, especially if they're in a foreign country or something like that, you're sitting there, you don't understand what's going on, who's talking to you, where weigh-ins are, anything like that. Where if your coach has time to actually devote, we need to be to weigh-ins by this time, we need to be to sign-ups by this time, I think that's just a massive, massive help, and it takes a ton of stress off the competitors. So I think that's a huge perk, even though, when you've got the team and you're all just having a good time, it gets a little frustrating, but it's kind of necessary, and it's a huge time saver and stress reliever.
Nice. I'm doing good.
You're doing good as a coach.
All right. So I like to hear.
Two enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yes. When you come back from these trips, do you feel the level up? Do you feel the progression? Do you feel like, man, that was worth it? That was worth the energy, time, money. And now like I feel like I got better from that experience. And maybe when you compete at local stuff, you feel a whole lot better. Maybe when you just spar at the gym, you feel a whole lot better, or you don't. Do you feel better or you don't? What do you think?
I feel like a lot better.
So you get better from it.
It's a big level up. Like it's okay, like it's starting to click. More things are clicking. I'm willing to get into more scenarios that I want to typically go into a competition, because in competition, that's a bad scenario for me. Like in here, it's like the workshop. We go out there, we try everything, come back here to the lab. We get to see what stuck, what didn't stick, and what we need to work on for other things.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Kyle?
I completely agree with Chris on that. Yeah. Just coming back from the tournament, you're sitting out there traveling, and when you're out there, the work's done. You can't improve in a day. coming back here after it's like, well, I got stuck in this position, or he got me in this submission and I've gotten submitted there before. It gives you a very clear direction on where you need to progress. And I think that's just great.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, also as a coach, I feel like I level up as a coach too. I get to experience a lot of things as a coach, how to like handle certain situations that come up that maybe are unique to that scenario, but I get to learn a lot from those scenarios. Yeah, every time I go on a trip, I never regretted it. There's been some like bad trips too, like some disappointment trips, and you just have to like learn from that experience. Like, okay, like I'm going to learn the lessons to be learned here and try to prevent that in the future. And there's been times that I have prevented things in the future now because I'm more prepared going into my next trip. I think at the end of the day, I think if you plan on like trying to like compete at the high level, you should try to travel a little bit. You should try to visit like the local gyms when you do travel too, just to kind of, meet new people and make new friends and all that type of stuff. I would say, if you're really serious about competing in jiu-jitsu, you would want to find a gym and a team that travels on a frequent basis and be a part of that. And I think that would be a good investment into your jiu-jitsu career. All right, closing words, Kyle. Anything do you want to say about traveling?
I just wanted to add something on to what you were just saying, that even if there's no like gyms in your town that travel consistently, try to find like a group of competitors from that same area that can travel consistently. Like when we were in Dallas, there was a girl from another gym in town that we don't know that well, but it's like just being in town, another Colorado Springs person. It's like go over, support her, try to make sure she's if she needs anything. And even if you're in an area where you don't have a lot of teams that travel as a single team, try to get with people that want to travel to these tournaments, meet them at open mats or meet them wherever. And a lot of times, once you get to know them, you'll be able to split hotels, split costs, share flight information, rental car, whatever. So I think that's just a valuable thing.
Oh yeah. Any final words?
Yeah, just get out there, let it fly.
Nice. Yeah. That was a good. I think that could be a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like this one. See this one?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been fun to do these type of things, and I think if you want to, like I said, I don't know, it's probably the third or fourth time saying this. If you want to win those high level competition, and you're gonna have to travel a little bit more. All right. Bye.
Bye, internet.
Like,
comment,
subscribe.
Rip that notification bell out of your screen and slap it.
Damn. Hopefully we don't get sued for that one.
Slap that
Yeah. Subscribe, please.
Yeah. Woody, please.